Triple Gorilla Studios presents.
Emperor Gorilla was born in Kingston, Jamaica during the turbulent 1970s, a time when violence, political unrest, and survival shaped everyday life. In the middle of that chaos, a child entered the world carrying a life that would later grow into something much larger than himself. Because the streets had become too dangerous, his family made a difficult decision. As a small boy, he was sent away from Kingston to live deep in the Jamaican countryside with his grandparents. Far from the noise of the city, he entered another world entirely. A world of mountains, forest, rivers, farming, discipline, and survival. There was no electricity, no luxury, only the rhythm of nature and the wisdom of the land. His grandfather farmed the soil. His grandmother worked the home and the fields. Life was simple, but it was powerful. There, the young O'Neill learned how to live directly from the earth. He grew up surrounded by strong church traditions, strict schooling, and hard daily work. But even as a child, something inside him was always calling him toward freedom and creation. Whenever he could escape the routines around him, he would disappear into the land itself, planting, growing, building, learning from nature. By the age of 10, while many children were only thinking about school, he was already cultivating large sections of farmland on his own. Food, life, growth. These became his first real teachers. The land showed him patience. The land showed him discipline. The land showed him how life multiplies when you care for it. As he grew older, he also learned electrical work and technical skills. He became fascinated by systems, by energy, by how things could be built and connected. Even then, he was already becoming both a creator and a builder. But his life was always shaped by two completely different Jamaicas. One was the deep countryside, natural, rooted in survival and farming. The other was Kingston, raw, dangerous, creative, and alive with music and rebellion. These two worlds would permanently shape the man he would become. At around 15 years old, O'Neill made another major decision. He entered the path of Rastafari. He began growing his locks at a time when doing so was seen as rebellious and dangerous in many parts of Jamaican society. People judged him. Some rejected him. But he continued walking his own path, guided by conviction and life rather than acceptance. At the same time, music was exploding throughout Kingston. The studios of Jamaica were creating sounds that would influence the entire world. O'Neill found himself moving around those environments, watching carefully as artists, musicians, and producers built history inside recording studios. He observed the movements of legends. He saw how music could uplift people. He also saw how the industry could destroy artists who lacked vision or independence. Quietly, he learned. He studied the energy of the studios, the structure of creativity, and the importance of ownership. As he entered adulthood, life eventually carried him beyond Jamaica and across the Caribbean Sea to Aruba, where his mother had settled. He came not only to support family, but also to continue building his own future. In Aruba, something extraordinary began to happen. On the land surrounding his mother's home, O'Neill started building, completely with his own hands. Piece by piece, wall by wall, year after year, without major investors, without shortcuts. Through discipline, sacrifice, and relentless work, he slowly created a vision that existed first only inside his mind. What took others months took him years, but he understood something important. Real foundations are not rushed. For 17 years, he continued building until eventually a full 2-story mansion stood in the yard, a symbol of patience, endurance, and self-created destiny. Inside that space, another vision was born: Triple Gorilla Studios. Upstairs, he created a professional music studio designed with international standards and creative excellence in mind. More than just a recording room, it became a multifunctional creative space, a place where music, culture, ideas, and future generations could grow together. The journey from the violence of Kingston to the forests of rural Jamaica to the studios of reggae culture, and finally to the creation of Triple Gorilla Studios in Aruba, became the life story of O'Neil Lattery, also known as Emperor Gorilla. Today the doors are opening. Triple Gorilla Studios now stands ready as a new platform for music, creativity, and cultural growth. Built not from fantasy, but from a lifetime of experience, struggle, discipline, and vision. This is not simply the story of a music studio. It is the story of a man who learned how to grow life from the ground up. And this is only the beginning.
Give thanks to the listener.